Welcome to That Card Collectors Podcast with your host, Ian Taylor.
Welcome, everybody, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Ian. This is That Card Collectors Podcast. Joining me, oh my goodness, there's so many people on the screen right now. Joining me this week, this is going to be the longest list ever. We have Jason.
Hello.
We have Josh.
What it is.
We have Keith.
How you doing?
We have Wesley.
Heyo.
Honestly, it's like everyone's turned up to meet our guest this week. I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome to the show this week. We have James Ferree from Sports Wax Promotions. How you doing, James?
What's up, everybody? The show is here.
The show is here. Now, you are very much in showbiz. I think it's fairly safe to say, or the business of shows. So tell us, James, what you're all about and what you do.
Oh man, what are we about and what do we do? Well, we are Sports Wax Promotions, and we host large-scale collector events in the Carolinas. Our primary focus is sports cards, sports memorabilia, Pokemon, TCG, like and other animes that go along with the TCG genre. That's what we do. Our shows are typically 400 to 500 tables. And we are all about providing an experience more so than just like a card collector show. It's all about an experience. We try to bring excitement. We try to bring hype. We try to bring good vibes to the show so that everybody leaves with memories of their collecting experience at the show and not just, oh, hey, we went to a card show, right? So that's kind of our deal, man. It's all about the experience of the card show and not just a card show.
I love it. So, I will at the start say that we'll probably be looking at and referencing the website and your Instagram feed, of which there's absolutely loads of really good content. So for anyone who wants to play along at home, James, just hit them up with your website URL so that people can look at that while they're listening or watching to this.
Yes, sir. The website URL is Sports Wax Promotions, and all of our social media is at Sports Wax Promotions.
Nice. Okay, so Where did this start? Were you kind of always doing this, or was it a fairly recent thing, or how's it come about that you've been doing this for your day to day?
Well, it started in 2021. Just like a lot of people you talk to a lot of people nowadays, their story of getting back into collecting, getting back into cards started right around the kind of COVID time frame for a lot of different people. And that's kind of what got me back into collecting. As a kid, I collected Marvel comics and Marvel cards. Like I had to complete 94, 95, 96 sets. Prided myself on that. Hologram pages and stuff like that, dude. So like that was my thing as a kid. And of course, life comes and we, move past it. Some people do. Some people stay into it. I did not continue collecting. But during COVID, a good friend of mine, Mike, called me and he was like, hey man, sports cards are booming. It's fun. I'm like, what? So, at home with, not a lot to do, I started looking at sports cards again. I remember the first athlete I decided to start investing in was, unfortunately, Deshaun Watson. This was pre-PP touch though. You know what I mean? So like I had some nice 1-1 Nike shit. I mean, I had some really nice stuff, dude. And but soon after I started, buying a few cards here and there, I discovered breaking. And that was not a problem for me because I loved it. It was fun, but it became a problem for my wife because I had a lot of cards laying around the house. So she was like, what are you going to do with all these cards? And I was just having fun, just, accumulating cards, cool cards. So, I decided that, hey, maybe time to start selling some cards. And I'm like hand-to-hand kind of guy. So I went to a few card shows and I thought, hey, man, I can set up at some card shows, have some fun, meet some people, get into some conversations, network a little bit. And I went to some card shows and it wasn't the vibe, it wasn't exciting. It wasn't fun. Honestly, it just wasn't fun. So I decided that, if I'm going to be at a card show, I'm going to have to let people know where I am. And I would rather it be something a little bit different. So I decided to just kind of like build the show that I would want to attend as a vendor and as a collector. So that's kind of where we started. Our very first show was 35 tables at about 800 square feet. And it was cool because it was packed, right? And we did different things to advertise and let people know about the show. But that's kind of where we got started. So our very first show was September 2021.
Wow. Okay. So fast forward almost 5 years.
Yeah.
What was the scale of your last show? Because you had one last weekend, didn't you?
We did. Well, last weekend was a little bit different. It was literally like a half a show for us. It was we called it the sports card show. It was nothing but sports, no TCG, no comic,
Gotcha.
nothing but sports cards. So we had about all in total about 242 tables sold. Wanted to get it to 300, probably about 242 tables sold. Our show before that was in January. That show was right at 400 tables, like 411. And our biggest show last year, our biggest show to date was last year, last September. It was 539.
Wow.
That's quite the scale up.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. The idea behind the sports card show that we just did, where it was pure sports, is to try to help the sports card hobby, especially around here where we live. The guys need that. The Pokemon is taking over 60-70% of most shows around here. And I made a promise to the boys that I wouldn't let that happen. And then I decided to throw them their own show. It was in the shadow of the Carolina Panther Stadium. It was pretty awesome. And they really responded well to it. So I'm hoping that with our next show that comes up, which is going to be about 600 tables, I'm hoping that show helps beef up the sports card hobby a little bit more and let those boys know that we've got something for them.
I like that. I like the idea of just having the dedicated shows amongst the kind of more kind of general stuff. Because I mean, it's everyone's talking about Pokemon at the moment. It seems to be having its thing. Josh is always talking about One Piece.
Yeah.
In fact, Josh, I'm sure you go to sleep muttering about One Piece.
Yeah.
There's that meme where the girl's going, I bet he's thinking about other women, and the speech bubbles going out of Josh's head, going, One Piece. So no, that's cool that the sports guys get their own kind of focus. So what's give us kind of a sense of it, because I saw on one of your Instagram reels a few weeks back this massive, great articulated truck with packed full of stuff, and that was kind of you're right. Okay, we're here to set up. So give us a kind of a flavour of the days leading up to that kind of event and what it takes to actually get that show on its feet.
Oh, well, I mean, it starts with vendor registration. Making sure you have the people that are going to come. We've partnered with a new event management software program called Treasure, and it's really lightened my days and my wife's days. We used to spend most days texting back and forth, making sure we lock the vendors in, payments and things like that. So having an automated system to help do that has relieved my time to allow me to focus on content creation to help draw more people to the show. Right. So typically you would have to spend, days working on seating charts, or at least a couple of days working on the seating chart. A lot of that has been eliminated for me. So now I can focus more on trying to enhance the experience and bring the people to the show. But getting ready, the planning of it, making sure we have all of our equipment in the truck, making sure we've got all the stuff at the front door. We've got some new things coming up later this year. I'll tell you about. It's gonna be very exciting for our front door. But just making sure that we have all of our stuff it's pretty easy. Being 5 years in, we've gotten very organized and streamlined with knowing what we need. We tend to usually, as soon as the show's done, we break down the truck the next week and get ourselves ready for the next show as far as ordering more supplies like stickers and keychains and bags and things like that. But other than that, it's super, being organized and having done it for so long has really helped us to just know what to do when we show up. You mentioned the truck. In our truck, we can hold 400 tables, 100 cases, like display cases to rent, and then all the equipment we need to run the front door and things like that. But the truck was pretty cool. We've had the truck for about 2 years now. About a year. We've had the truck about a year and a half now.
Wow. Okay. And if you look out of your window, is it parked in your drive right now? Is it all there?
It's actually behind the office.
All right. So almost. Then yeah. Cool. So you mentioned your wife. Is it like a family affair? Is it just two of you, or have you got other people involved as well?
No, 100%. It's a family affair. So the very first show, and maybe the first 15 or 16 shows, first 12 to 15 shows, I used to set up. I would be in the back corner, set up with my stuff. So my wife, my son, and my niece actually ran the show. They ran the front door. My wife would collect money, things like that. I would pop out from behind the table and do some giveaways and kind of engage with the room a little bit as I could. But it was definitely a family affair. I mean, my sister-in-laws are involved, nieces involved, other nephews involved, cousins involved.
Nice.
And throughout the years, we started to kind of lose some, life happens, nieces having babies and things like that. So coming up soon for our very next show, here's a jewel for you. We're going to have some kiosks where people can come up, scan their QR code, make their payment, walk right into the show, and try to help facilitate with the efficiency of the front door moving as I'm starting to lose staff. So I do want to keep it kind of in the family as much as I can for my family.
Nice.
It's like a family company almost.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. So is it just North and South Carolina? Is that your kind of orbit that you go around? Yeah.
Yes, just North and South Carolina. There's 50 states in this country, and if I can dominate 2 of them and leave my mark on 2 of them, I felt like I did okay.
It's a pretty big pie, the sports card and card. Well, yeah, it's a pretty big pie, so I think that's a good chunk. That's what.
I'll
hang
take
on a minute.
this.
Let me do some sums. That's at least 5%. Yeah, if you can dominate 5%.
I'll take this.
Doing okay. Would you consider taking the show on the road?
Yes, I would. Honestly, I'd like to go down to Jacksonville, Florida. I have a friend that lives in Jacksonville. I like the Jacksonville area. I usually tend to vacation there for a week out of the year. And they have some pretty good card shows down there. So I know there's a good card culture down there. So that's honestly one place I've looked into taking the card show is Jacksonville. It's about the only place that I've thought about taking it, honestly. I'm kind of weird, man. Like, guys put their shows in places, and I know we can do whatever we want in this world, but I feel to like kind of respect guys in their territory a little bit. So I tend not to like want to venture out. Like I would love to go to Atlanta. I'd love to go to Tennessee. I'd love to go to Virginia, things like that. But I just want to have as much respect as I can for other people and their promotions and what they're doing in their regions, and not step on too many toes. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why I'm just like, you know what? I'll just chill in my lane in the Carolinas and we're cool.
So there was a void, like there wasn't anything at all of a big scale in your area that was coming around.
Oh,
and you just slipped right in.
Kind of sort of. There were already card shows in this area. There was a very large promotion that had been in the States for about almost 30 years. It was a little bit more old school ran, right? I came in, started using social media, started, actually spending money on advertising and marketing the company and things like that. Yeah. So it allowed us to scale at a quicker rate than I feel like anybody just coming out not using those tools would be able to do.
Right.
And then again, like I said, we were different, man. Like it's a different vibe when you come to my show. It's a different energy when you come to my show. There's families walking around. There's strollers. You know what I mean? So it's a completely different thing than your average card show. And I think that too also helped it to scale because we were able to appeal to a different person and not just, the 6 of us with our backpacks at the card show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
it seems like you're focusing on like emotion. I mean, maybe not by, on purpose or anything, but so to kind of keep everything, in the family and together. So people think about it later on, like
100%.
What is there like, I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but is there one thing that you did or that you do at your show that's different that kind of helps get that emotion out and get people in that vibe?
I'll be honest with you, man. It's weird because I'm just doing my thing, right? Like I'm just doing what I feel I should do at a show, period, to make it exciting, to make it fun, to attract people to the show. And I've had, I've had some of the content creators from across the country come into the show and they tell me, James, you're doing it different. You're doing it different. Nobody's doing it like this. And I just don't know what I'm doing that's different because I don't see how you could do it any way different other than making sure it's exciting, making sure people are having fun. Why wouldn't you bring your family in? Why would you hire outside people initially versus, hey, come make some extra money with me for the weekend? Like, so that's, I'm just doing my thing, honestly, man. I don't think there's anything special behind it. I'm just doing my thing, man.
Yeah. You're not walking around with a moose head on or anything?
Oh, no. I literally walk around with this hat on all day. Like, this hat right here is on. I've got a black one. I've got a white one. Like, I do cool stuff, man. Like, I change my shirt 3-4 times during the show because I'm sweating. Like, I run around the show all day long. So, like, I'm just, again, like, I'm doing my thing. I'm having fun. I'm literally having fun at these card shows.
That's probably part of it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying we give away tickets to games, tickets to wrestling matches, sealed wax, like all day long. I'm just trying to make sure somebody's excited, somebody's seeing excitement from somebody else, and that there's just constant smiles going around the room.
What is going on with the moose head in your background? Is that a moose head?
No. So this is that's a Charizard head right? That's Charizard. Yeah, dude, that's
My
Charizard. Yeah.
I guess from the front it looks different than I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, the moose thing. So at the shows we have a Pikachu suit, we have the Charizard suit. I have an 8-foot tall Eevee. I have an 8-foot tall Gengar for the TCG crowd and the kids. Right.
Mm-hmm.
At this last show, the sports card show, we had Musa Diabate from the Charlotte Hornets. And his name is Moose, so his thing is Moose. Like
I saw that on your Instagram.
So,
I wonder what was going on.
Right. So they started selling these little head things at the stadium, right? So they started selling these at the arena, at the Charlotte Hornets arena for him, right? So it's like the Moose, right? So I just thought it would be cool to hang on my slaying Charizard, right?
Yeah, right.
Sweet.
I think one of the things that you're doing that's different, and it sounds like that you're very involved. Like, so just during the show, like present, like people attending the show that wouldn't even know that there's an organizer involved. Oh, that's the guy in charge of this thing. What's that guy doing? Oh, he's the guy. You're having a good time. You're having fun with people. And I think that helps create the impression that you're looking at. A lot of times you go to a show and it's a bunch of tables and here's the show and go F yourselves, bye. Right. I think you making connections in some way by being involved on the floor is one of those things that's helping you stand out.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's, again, like I said, man, I've kind of always done that since like maybe the third or fourth show. Like I would come behind the table and, we would do raffle giveaways. I'm just running around, engaging with my vendors, making sure. I mean, I met some really cool dudes, you know what I mean? And like, it's the only time I really get to see my friends because they scatter around the country, scatter around the state. So I want to go by and see those guys too, man. So like, bringing that personable experience to the show. I agree with you. I think we gave the show its own personality. Right?
Yeah.
Wow. I kind of want to go to one now,
Dude,
but it's a bit of a trek for me.
It's exciting.
It's a bit of a trek for me.
But yeah, James, I really like the way you're doing things the right way. You're building the experience, and people they remember that. What do you think moving forward? What do you think is something you'd like to incorporate in the future?
Well, so I've been to the National a couple of times, and that's literally the only other car show I've ever gone to, except for a couple of local car shows. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring that national level, maybe not that level, but a national type vibe and a national type experience to the Carolinas for the people that can't travel to the Dallas, or they can't make it to the Philly, or they can't make it to the Chantilly. We want to be that show that provides that for them, 5-6 times a year. Come out, you're going to have that experience. So that's one of the things we're looking to do. We're looking to bring in more of the hobby corporate presence, right? So for our upcoming show in June, we have Pristine Auction as our headliner, and they're going to be there with a full setup. That's going to be dope. In August at Myrtle Beach, we've got Graded Guard attending. So we're trying to break into some of that corporate realm to bring that activity and some of those activations to the show to provide even more of an experience in the Carolinas, so people don't have to travel outside or don't ever get to experience it because they can't travel outside of the Carolinas. You can just come right here to the show, 2-3 hours. Sports Wax has got you.
Yeah,
that's
great.
Nice. Yeah, the National's
and
the
also
only one.
We started to bring in we started to bring in autograph attendees. A couple of years ago, we started with Lawrence Taylor and things like that, but I've partnered with my friend Mike from Wilder Side of Sports. He's been helping us with the autograph pavilions at a couple of our shows. Last year, we had Kemba Walker and Muggsy Bogues, LT, a bunch of other really big people at a show. This year, we're going to headline our June show. So far, it's being headlined by Allen Iverson. Right. So if we can get somebody, that's going to be cool.
Nice.
So those are kind of the, the experiences we're looking to continue to bring and continue to add. So again, people can get that big show experience right here in the Carolinas.
What's the process in getting those kind of stars or autographers there? Is that something that you have to get your real hands into, or is that something with your partnership that he handles most of?
So the first time I ever had a big time autograph gift, it was LT Lawrence Taylor. We had him in a gentleman.
Nice.
Yeah, it was dope, dude.
That's so cool.
So a buddy of mine came to me, and his name is Keith Gonzalez. And he said, "Hey, James, would you be open to having an autograph guest at your show?" I was like, "Yeah, dude." So he brings in Lawrence Taylor, and then, for what the cost was and the public, what came in through the public, I was like, man, how do you really make your money back on this? And it was something that I really didn't want to do because, I do want to bring the experience, but I'm not necessarily about losing money either. You know what I mean?
Right.
$20 grand just to say I had LT at a show. So I started looking into ways to provide that experience, but it didn't have to come through me, right? And my buddy Mike was doing his thing in Ohio, and he's got a couple of shows in South Carolina, and there's a lot of private signings. I'm like, man, this guy's already connected. This guy's already doing it. Why don't I just like reach out to him and see if we can come to some kind of an agreement? And I can, he can come, bring that element to my show for me, right? So that's what I did. I reached out to him. We went and had lunch. Sat down, talked about some numbers and things like that, could make sure that we would vibe together. And it did. It worked. We came up to some numbers, and he decided to do the show. It was my show that I had in September of last year with the Kimber Walker and Lawrence Taylor and Kelly. I mean, it was a big show, man. But before that, he had a show in Myrtle Beach. And after we come to that agreement, a couple weeks later, he called me up, hey, James, would you be interested in doing this show with me? I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. So we talked about it, came up with some numbers, and that was a show where we had Dennis Rodman as a headliner. William Shatner was there as well.
Whoa.
And yeah, dude, we blew that show. Ricky Williams was there, dude. Like, it was crazy.
Pardon me, but I just shat myself.
There's a video on Instagram that Army ATC 22 did. Alex is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like over 4 million views of Shatner walking up to Rodman. He's like, "Hey, there you are," and Dennis was like, "Hey."
Oh, was that at one of your shows?
Yeah, that was our show. That was a show I did.
Oh, I've watched that. Yeah. Because I follow the Army guy.
Yeah. So we did that last August. So again, it's just and coming back around, it worked twice, right? We vibe together. He does his thing. I run the show. I do my thing. So the ins and outs of it, I let Mike take care of. Now I do know the ins and outs and behind the scenes and how they move inventory and things like that. But it's something that I would rather not get into, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to do it the right way, and it's going to take it's going to take attention away from the show and what the energy, the things that I like to put into the show. So I would rather do like we've done, come to an agreement with him, let him take care of that for me, and trust he's going to bring me some dope guys, and I'll just concentrate on the show.
Yeah, so now it's just like, yo, who you got for me? All right, cool.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it doesn't get more dope than Shatner and Dennis Rodman.
No,
I mean, what a pairing! What a pairing! I mean,
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, Shatner. I was just checking out, because the thing is, there's Instagram. You can tell the people that kind of are putting out. I mean, my feed is just full of 3 things at the moment, 4 if you include yours, because it's noticed I've been looking at your stuff, and the algorithm responds, and it's sending me all the cool stuff. So obviously you've got your mate Alex Army. I can't remember his full thing now because it doesn't trip off the tongue. There we go. So he seems like a good dude. I've got Boston Card Hunter, who just seems to be all over my feed at the moment with his outing whatnot people and all that sort of stuff. That's a bit intense. He seems like a decent guy, but it's a bit full on sometimes. And then you've got Talon. And Talon's content is going all over the place, and the reason I mention that is I just noticed a video on your site where he was at a show, one of your shows last year.
He's been coming to my show for 3 years, dude.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Talon. I brought Talon out to a show the summer of 2023, and I continued to bring him out to shows throughout 2024, throughout 2025, and his following here in the Carolinas, crazy. He has a line in front of him the entire. He's probably one of the biggest draws I have at a show. Talon.
Yeah,
his line is nonstop all day long. I mean, he's coming out to 3 shows this year. He'll be at my very next show. Yeah,
because he's Vegas based, I believe.
Yes, he's based in Vegas. Love Vegas.
But what I find interesting then is that you've got these different personality is the wrong word. But people who have got such a, I guess he is a personality. You've got people queuing. You got people, as well as him being in the business of dealing cards and buying cards and selling cards, and it feels like that ecosystem is kind of there. There's that connective tissue. You've got people like Army, who's going around to all of the shows doing great content. He's partnering with a lot of the big corporate players now. Talon's just started doing some stuff with, I know, Fanatics and someone else. Yeah, everyone's after him. You got guys like Tim BCW Slabstrong, and you've got that connective tissue. So I kind of feel that from my perception, based on what you've told me and based on what I'm seeing on the line, is that you've got that center of gravity now, where you're starting to attract those kind of bigger and hopefully some of that more corporate angle. Is that kind of the direction you'd like to see it going, as well as keeping it real to what you wanted to set up?
100%. It's very intentional. Everything I do is with intent. So bringing in the talent for the years I have, bringing in Alex, which I met through Brian Talon at a Charlotte Hornets game last year, bringing in Ryan, I saw Sasquatch, bringing in Ryan and Desiree from Like Father Like Son. It's intentional to help showcase the show so that everybody else can see what's going on, right? Because their reach, honestly, their reach is bigger than mine. They can get to different people that I can't, other people that follow them that don't know about us. So it's very intentional to let others know what's going on here in the Carolinas. Let them know that there is a strong community here. There is a strong show. You can come here where you can move inventory. You can buy the big cards. You can buy the little cards, whether it is sports or whether it is TCG. Bringing those people in. I even brought in a young lady for the Pokemon side also. Lisa collects, I forget her. So, but just it's all to showcase the show, to let people know what's going on, so that we can attract more people here. The people in the Carolinas know what's going on. They know what's up, and they're at those. It's we want to bring the people from Virginia. We want to bring the people from Knoxville. I do know now we have vendors coming from Kentucky and Indiana and all these different places.
Oh wow!
Oh, 100%. Utah. But it's all intentional. Because again, like I said, I want to deliver that national level experience to the people in the Carolinas.
Wow, it's fascinating. So I've only been to one American card show, and that was the National last year. So I made the trip over for the first time. It was such an overwhelming experience that, because I'm an idiot, I'm going again this year. So it's not a cheap trip, but I'm going again this year, whether or not I'll be able to do it in repeated years. But it's I don't know, guys, have you ever been to anything of that kind of scale? Because I know National's been near you very recently, Keith. It was Atlanta a few years ago.
I was in DC,
Atlantic City.
Yep.
I
mean, I think my issue with it is, like you said, the overwhelmingness. I think something that shows are missing that they need to start thinking about is a technology aspect, giving me the map on my phone live where I can find vendors and stuff like that and where to go. And that was probably my biggest issue, was finding what I wanted to find. So I walked the whole floor and I did 50,000 steps by the time I was done. And I remember I didn't find my Marvel stuff until the last 80% of the show. It was, of course, it was in the back corner. Like
left. No, it's a very small section of the National.
Fine. I didn't have a problem with that, but of course, I had the amount of Jordan rookies I had to look at before I got to what I wanted was overwhelming.
To your point, that's another reason why I looked into to event management software. There were, the people put out the vendor maps and things like that. It's just a map with people's name for the most part. The company that I partnered with, Treasure, man, they do a great job with just what you're talking about right there, finding the person you want, and they also have an interactive map. So the one thing that happens when somebody registers on my website to sell at a show, it's going to ask a questionnaire. What do you sell? What do you have? Tell me about your stuff, right? And they'll put in their high end, low end, mid sports, whatever, Marvel comics, whatever they have, they put it in there. And then you can go as an attendee, you can look through those profiles to find what you want. You can filter it down to the tags.
Oh, nice.
I want comics, right? And you can do comics, right? So with Treasure, again, like I said, as the vendors are signing up, they choose their tables as well, right? So the vendor map is already done. So at the shows, I have these big, super huge 6 foot tall displays. You can find a video on my Instagram. I have these 6 foot tall displays, and on the displays, I have that vendor map with the profiles underneath. So when you walk into a show, you can literally walk to this display, hit Marvel. It'll pull up the 12 Marvel vendors I have. You can hit this guy's name, and it'll show you exactly where his table location is in the show.
That's cool.
As far as the technology you're talking about, yes, we are building that in. It's also another secret. We're going to drop the Sports Wax Promotions app next week. Should be in the Google Play Store. It's already in the Apple Play Store.
Cool.
And with that app, you'll have that vendor map and those vendor profiles accessible to you right here on your cell phone.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Beautiful.
And I almost wonder if maybe some of the vendors might fight that, just because the fact that if people are in there wandering around, then they have to bump into other stuff, right? Like if they don't move with intention and move to the place they want to get to, that's just my brain thinking.
No, I understand what you're saying,
but yeah, I get that.
I mean, everybody wants to be at the front of the show, like, and I always tell guys, look, there's not a bad table at my show. You know what I mean? Like, just come here and have a good time. But I definitely understand what you're saying. Like, it doesn't force them to walk past certain tables. But there you go, baby, sports bikes out there.
It's on there. It's on.
Yeah. So but the way I lay out my rooms, I feel is conducive to that overall shopping. I like long rows of tables. I don't do like the section of 10, section of 10, section of 10, section of 10. I'll put 40, 50 tables in a row, in a column. You know what I mean? So you have to walk down this long aisle and then come around and come back all the way up this side, man. So like, I feel like the layouts we use are conducive to exactly what you're saying. Like, you got to go through to look. You want to look to see what you want, and it causes you not to miss certain dealers. I feel
it's good funneling.
Yes,
that's what you call that, funneling.
Right.
So with the app, just one thing. I'm sorry. I've always wanted a pin drop too, because here's what happens. I show up with X amount of dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see something I want, and I haven't seen the whole show yet.
And if you don't remember where it is,
right,
game over.
Right. And
I did that so many times at the National last year.
I'm like, I'll be back, dude. Don't sell that. I will be back. And then I end up on the other side of the floor, and then I'm like, okay, I still have this many dollars left. Let's go get that. I go back, and I am lost.
Oh man, you just pull up your map. That's when you just pull up the map and just like type in that guy's name. It'll take you to his table location and just screenshot it. Boom, there you go. You got it like right there on your phone. Right there on your phone. I will figure out how to add a pin drop for you.
I'm just getting lost in your app now. This is me.
Don't do that, dude.
I'm done.
No, the app thing
has
is
a social feed on it, so like you can upload photos and things like that. People can comment and like on your phone.
Oh, UGC, that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice way of bringing people in. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to some other cons, and like a lot of music festivals that I've been going to for the past few years do an app like that, and it's a helpful thing. You can look at it ahead of time, map out where you want to go, see who vendors are going to be there, and then find your way like back to where you were, and the exit routes. Yeah, so that I think that's great. A lot of, like I said, music festivals do that.
That's cool.
I haven't seen as many card shows going to that level yet, but I think that's a great thing. Yeah.
I'm always trying to innovate, man. Always trying to.
I mean, I tell you what, it might, because of my kind of, I've been in kind of live entertainment marketing for quite a chunk of my career, and one of the things when I was working on music festivals, especially the ones that are on greenfield sites, and you have to bring everything in, is that connectivity. Is that's got to be one of the things in your head. It's like when you're there, it's like, okay, if I've got just off the top of your head, how many people would you expect to attend on a show day on a Saturday?
On a Saturday, 4 or 5
roughly. 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah.
So you got 4,000 or 5,000 people in a room, albeit a big room, and they're all trying to draw on Wi-Fi or 5G. That's another little thing to be getting on with, and that's one of the challenges I found at the National last year.
I just lived that.
I've got something for. Stay right here. I've got something for that too.
Oh, he's off. He's off.
Nice.
He's off. James will be back in a moment. Meanwhile, here is a message from our sponsors.
I don't know if you're like in my brain or not. So I bought 3 of these Verizon wireless business gateways.
Nice.
At the very next card show, I mean, we've got the gateways, the routers, the switches. At the very next card show, we're going to be able to offer really good Wi-Fi to our vendors so that they can get those Venmo payments, so they can check their comps, because sometimes like you said, the internet's not that good. And I know specifically this last building we use, or at this building we're going to be using, that it's not that great. So we are going to establish and build our own wireless network at the card show for more reliability.
No, it's great. I mean, because it's reliable for the vendors, which means they know they're going to be able to take money as well as make money. They're going to be able to do the whole thing with the comps. There's the whole user-generated content for the vendors and for you. Being able to use the app. It just everyone is. This is. Until this is part of your body in your head, which it will be in about 10 years' time. Everyone's there like this, going, okay, where do I need to go? And like doing selfies and stuff like that. That's a biggie.
That's my new. I mean, we've got a lot of I love technology, right? I love technology. Like currently, you know, I'm living in the future of my 20-year-old self, my 13-year-old self, right? This is the future. So I'm trying to take full advantage of all the different things that it offers. And then when it comes to the show, it's like, how can I put these things into the show to make that experience even better? So with the Wi-Fi, the app, the maps, the payment kiosk when you walk in the door, we're just trying to make sure that everything is efficient, fun, and makes the experience overall easier with no bottleneck.
What I love about this is that you're going into it with the mindset of, if I was at this show, what would I want? So you're seeing it through the eyes of the attendees, you're seeing it through the eyes of the vendors, and I think it sounds like that's the right approach, because if you build it from that experience upwards, then it's always going to, you know, be something that people want to be part of and want to experience. I'm just curious, what did you do before 2021?
That was
I'm just. What's your background? What was your kind of career?
How did we get here, and how did that change? And what was that conversation with your wife like, where you said, "We're gonna do this"?
Guys, I have a history. A very diverse past. You know, immediately right before this, we had an internet business, an internet TV business. We were selling, you know, internet and TV, cable, things like that. But sales is my background. I used to sell cars. I used to travel the country selling cars week in and week out. I was in a different state, a different city, selling cars at huge events. So,
well, this makes sense.
Yeah, this all tracks.
So just, you know, a people's person is what I was. At one point when I got off the road, we call it the road. When I got off the road, I came back to work at some car dealerships. And again, you know, I started my own website. I started to market myself as my personal car guru is what it was called. So that I could, you know, attract more people to me so I could sell more cars. And that just kind of led into more of the online advertising and marketing. It's something that I've been doing since 2010. Just constantly coming back to online marketing, internet marketing, things like that.
Nice.
But when I started to do it for a couple of dealerships, that was fun. That kind of took off. And then again, like I found the internet company, and it was really cool the way they operated. So I was able to do that and make some success from that. And then we got into cards.
Wow. And then cards happened. It's like your life is BC and AC. It's before cards and after cards. Well, it sounds like cards were always there. No, I'm laughing because Wesley's in the car dealership business, aren't you, Wesley?
Yeah, I've been a finance manager for 25 years and got into it in 96. But I remember those traveling sales. We started at a smaller dealership, and we would have them come in, bring in a group, and kind of send out the mailers and get people to come in and create some excitement, emotion, right? Like, and Josh did a little bit too. So that's I know that's that's all.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
We had
and one thing,
our business is fun.
Big tunnel where everybody cash grabs inside the tunnel and stuff.
Yeah.
I got a video of
all that. Had all that. Oh yeah.
So you understand like the excitement of an event and what excitement and what energy does for the buying environment, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what it is, man. The excitement
just coming out of it
provides that buying environment.
We used to we had an annual car show. There's a big car scene in this area in South Florida. So we used to tie an annual car show to our dealership, and it turned into a motorcycle show after the first year, and just learning how to kind of get involved and starting a little something like that from the ground up, as far as food vending and bringing in radio stations and other stuff like that. So awesome. It's just an awesome experience.
Well, one thing that I truly miss about the car business, and you guys know, like, it used to be all about relationships. You know, you call somebody at a bank or you know somebody and they help you out. And that's probably what you're focusing on with the guru thing. And that's kind of gone to the wayside a little bit. So it sounds like that's something you're focusing on, with getting the relationships with the vendors and with the the people that it's Mike in Ohio, or, you know, the other places that you're getting people in to help sign. So that sounds awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's been it's definitely been a journey, man. It's fun. And a lot of those things that I did learn as far as building excitement and energy, I did get from the car business. Car business was good to me. It taught me how to talk to people, taught me how to relate to people, taught me how to find common ground. So and it has translated to the card show, and the card show it's my favorite thing to do.
Yep. People buy from who they like.
There you go.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great experience.
Lord knows we need more common ground these days. Oh my goodness. So I'm just looking at some bullet points that your buddy Frank sent over. And Frank seems like a dude. What does he work on your team? Is he one of your team?
He's part of our team. Frank runs his own card shows out of the Georgia area.
Cool.
But he is part of the Sports Wax team. He was actually at my very first show. He was the very first vendor to sign up for a table.
Gotcha.
He came.
I do recognize his name from somewhere, but I can't place where. So maybe I saw him on some content somewhere.
He helps me. He helps me out with a lot of different things for the card show. Just kind of like tasks that he's good at for me for the show. Gotcha. He's great. Frank is my dude, man. He's 100% my dude, man. I would love for him to be my showrunner. But like I said, he has his own shows, so so he does his thing. But he's part of the Sports Wax team.
Well, you never know. You never know what the future will hold.
Oh, true.
But so he sent some bullet points, and to be honest with you, I think we've touched on a lot of these. But the reason I'm going back to them is the first one is behind the scenes stories from running major shows. So. Obviously, you know how the sausage is made. Hopefully, the people attending have a great time and don't know or need to care how the sausage is made. But give us some. You've got to have some stories from your 5 and a bit years of doing this of stuff that's either really worked, been really successful, or something that may have gone disastrously wrong. I'm just curious to know what the first things that come to your brain are.
Disastrously wrong.
Don't focus on that. Just it could be any crazy situation. That's the last thing that I said.
There's been cool stuff that's happened at the card show. Like I don't know, man. Like the card shows are great. Like there's nothing. I can't think of anything negative that's happened at the card shows.
Good.
There's always a lot of positivity. We've had great moments with the kids that come through the card shows. I remember at the last card show. I'm walking the aisles, I'm giving away packs. See this kid and I give him a pack and he looks familiar. And I'm like, you guys come to all the shows, don't you? Mom's like, yeah, we come to all the shows, James. We love it. And I went back and I saw some video like that specific kid, like in videos and on pictures. I'm like, yeah, they come to all the shows, dude. So
gotcha.
Like within 5-10 minutes after seeing the kid, I go up to the front and we're doing giveaways for Hornets tickets. We were doing free throws. It was in the gym show. We had the 400 tables, and we were doing free throws for Hornets tickets this particular time. And that kid was standing right there, and it was his birthday weekend. He wanted to come to the show for his birthday. He's standing right there when I announced, hey, we're going to give away 2 Hornets tickets. He takes the shot. He makes the shot. On his birthday, right? So I mean, he's like, 9, 10, you know what I mean? Like just made his day, dude. And how do you think mom and dad felt about that day for him? You know what I'm saying? Like that happiness that I get to help mom and dad have too, right? Like that thrill of seeing their child being so excited. Those are some of the things that I live for at the show. Like I like to provide those moments. Like maybe call me a little bit selfish, right? But I like to provide those moments for the people at the show. Those things are valuable. I feel like memories, right? Those memories are valuable. And I feel like, especially with cards or whatever it is, memorabilia, whatever you collect, if you can look at that one thing hopefully can take you back to that time and place. And if you bought it, if you acquired it because you wanted it, you were happy to have it. You know what I mean? So it takes you back to the happy place. So like, that's kind of the ethos for me of the card show. The only bad thing that's been happening lately is I've been losing a lot of tables. And what I mean by that is, so we bought our own tables. Like after the 3rd or 4th show, actually within the first year, I decided to buy my own tables because, eventually they would start to pay me back by owning the tables instead of having to rent them in every venue I go to. Right. So we bought our own tables. And at one point we had 405 tables. I think we're down to 320 now. It's because they break. They're cheap, right? So that's the only negative thing going on right now is I'm losing tables.
Tables are going down.
Order more.
when you said losing tables, I thought you had vendors who were they're not looking. Let's pack up. Get that table in the back of the van. Okay.
I need better quality tables at a better cost. They're breaking.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna bet in 5 years he's invented it.
Oh man, we'll figure something out. I promise, because I can't keep.
Yeah.
I mean, this last show, I think I lost like 15 tables.
Oh, you're
and it's
kidding.
really like we just got to make sure we have the tools to kind of like repair them as we go. Sometimes, and we do sometimes, but sometimes they just like literally explode. Like if I turn my camera, I have a stack of tables to the right of me that need to be repaired.
Do you have a little too many WWE people coming?
No, or Buffalo Bills fans at that
Or
moment.
yeah, right.
Right. That's great. Do you have a personal PC? Like, what do you collect yourself?
I collect Kobe Bryant. I collect Kobe Bryant. That's
Kobe.
my guy.
And Deshaun Watson.
Say again.
And Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun-
Because you know you're keeping that for life.
No, dude. I took my
No
loss
one's
on that a
taking that.
long time ago, dude. I said, we'll take that loss and roll that into something.
I think you liquidated that one a while back. There's always someone who'll still buy. There's always someone.
Somebody's buying.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you know,
Kobe Bryant's my guy. It's the Mamba mentality. It's the killer mentality for me.
Love it.
You know, I graduated high school in 1999. You know what I mean? So like watching him as a teenager and throughout my 20s or whatever, like he's always been my guy. I do have some Tom Brady stuff. Like I'm a winner, dude. I like winners, bro. You know what I mean? And those guys are the greatest of their, of their sport, of their genre.
Yeah.
So like those are the guys that I like to collect. Those are the guys that I like to look up to because it always, motivates me to go for more and strive for more and just try to dominate in whatever I do. So like Kobe's my guy.
Relentless.
I've gotten more into collecting art versus cards of Kobe. 2 years ago at the Nationals like right around my birthday. My wife bought me this really nice Kobe art piece from Justin Ferrano, who sets up at the Nationals. And
Nice.
so that's like the first of like 5. Now I have like 5 Kobe pieces too. So like artwork, because it looks good in the house. People can walk in and see it, and it's wow. Without, hey, hold on, let me run to the safe. You know what I mean? Let me get these cards.
Yeah, right.
have you thought about like because a lot of people don't know that art, like people do that stuff. Have you ever thought about having an artist or two at your shows?
So we do have some, like, to a degree, some, but maybe nobody like that guy's scale. But when it starts to get to those types of scales, I want to make sure that we have the right kind of customer base for him as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I know the customer base that I have, and I want to make sure that when we start attracting some different types of vendors, I want to make sure we have that customer base so he can come in and sell a few pieces and actually walk out of there and feel like it was a big show, it was a success. This is the year, I told my wife, this is the year where the eyes will be on us so that next year it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been, it's all been intentional. It's all been a lead up. We've got that big 600 table show coming up in June. It's 3 days. That's our first 3-day jam. So it's coming, right? It's coming. And we're
You better get those tables fixed. You're going to need them.
We're ordering some more. We're going to do a whole overhaul
I
on
think
the
so.
truck. We've got the truck, do an inventory on everything here next week.
That was an interesting one that Wesley mentioned, because obviously, we this podcast started as the Marvel Card Collectors podcast, and it kind of, after about when was it? About a year ago? A bit more than a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of just, this is effectively season 2 now. So any genre of cards in the hobby, partly as a response to kind of going to the National and just seeing how much else was out there. And with Upper Deck, losing the Marvel license, it was kind of time to, okay, let's focus elsewhere. Not that we're ignoring Marvel, of course. It's just that there's other stuff to talk about. There's so many IPs and different areas you can look at with cards. But we one of the things we've done over the years is we've spoken to quite a lot of artists, both like people who've done the original art for the cards, be it in Marvel, be it in Star Wars, whatever else it is. But we've also had quite a lot of sketch card artists on. So I think where Wesley's head was with that is, quite a lot of the more pop culture focused shows, or Comic Cons, as it were. You've always got that artist alley kind of vibe.
Yes.
And a lot of those I'm finding are really crossing over now. You get people who are doing original art, sketch cards and comic covers, and they could be just it could be Pokemon, it could be Magic, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, because Winnie the Pooh is apparently in public domain now, as evidenced by the 2 horror movies that have come out so far. Winnie the Pooh. What's that all about? Did you ever think? What a time to be alive! Did you ever think that you'd live in an era where there were Winnie the Pooh horror movies in the cinema?
I'm here for it.
Probably not.
What's that all about? Anyway,
some of it's great.
Yeah. but that's an interesting thing, because so many of those artists, so many of those sketch card artists and comic book artists, they're literally all over. So they're guaranteed there'll be some within your catchment area, and there'll be shows when they
we have a few people that do like Pokemon art. I have a guy that does like wood blazing, like his like art.
They're
you
great.
know what I mean? So like we do have some art. So we do have art at the show. 100% we do have art at the show. Maybe not a lot, but we do have art at the show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the last New York Comic Con I went to, I didn't even go to the show. I went to Artist Alley and I stayed in the basement, and then I left.
Yeah.
I got my commissions, and that was it.
I went in MegaCon Orlando's 175,000 on Saturday, and it was unbelievable how efficient they ran that size.
How many?
175,000 was their number. They've actually, in that building, because it's 2 levels, they haven't utilized the top floor yet. And they don't think they're going to top San Diego or anything like that, but they believe they can compete close to, because their building is actually larger than San Diego's setup and venue. It's an incredible building they've got for that venue. It's perfect. There was nearly a few people got trampled when Charlie Hunnam came out for the signings and stuff. That was firefighters got involved. They got the gates and stuff like that. And next thing you know, guys are looking at me. I'm like, I'm not going to. But it was really impressive to see that scale. The Artist Alley was incredible. To get a couple pieces like that just done quick when I didn't expect to have the opportunity to, really made that con memorable for me. So yeah, it's a lot of that. If you can get a piece or two done, it's a big timestamp in your mind. It's something you remember for a while, and it really kind of it's that optic that you look back, like you said, you remember the happy time when you see some of these things you collect. This is kind of like how that goes. And with a piece of original art, it lasts, it sticks.
Especially with commissions, because it might be something you've thought about for a while. Like, man, I'd really like to see this. And then you go talk to the artist, tell them what you want. You come back a day later and they got something. You're just like, I would show you what I got, but it's there's some boobs on it.
You'll remember that piece of art for. You'll remember that piece of art forever. You'll be like, I got it here on this day. Yeah, people got trampled. Charlie Hunnam was there. Like,
but people remember the fact that they might have met that celebrity, the Shatner. They might, they might have, met this, but they associate that with the show and with the brand, and that's pretty cool to build that and to actually kind of have ownership of that and be able to create that for people.
So James, have you, being in the Carolinas, have you been to a Heroes Con in Charlotte?
I have not. I see it all the time though, but I have not. I have not been to a Heroes Con.
Well, that's interesting. Do you kind of go to other shows and like check out the competition, or is it? No?
I don't. And I don't know why, but I don't. This is not my thing anymore. I concentrate on our show, and I would hate to go to somebody else's show and see something that I really like and implement it, and I don't know, and then feel slighted about it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just like to do my own thing, and it's
that's fair.
I collect from the guys at my show. Like I buy from the guys at my show during my show. So that's about the only time that I do get new stuff for myself or for my wife likes to buy stuff too, dude, all the time. But it's not. I don't, and I probably should, and it's probably bad on me. I probably should visit some other shows, but I don't really go to other shows at all.
Yeah, well, Heroes, I don't think there's much. I would say too much competition between, because they're primarily comics. They've been doing it.
They're very pop culture, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, it's I love it. I haven't been in a while, but it's more of a it's comic book and comic art focused. They don't have celebrities there. They have a huge artist alley. They've got people that have worked on all comic books. Like the one time I went there was a celebrity. It was one of the guys from DMC, because he lived in the area and had created a comic book. And they do an art auction to raise money, and it's done by the guy's been doing it for 40 something years. He has a store in Charlotte it's like a tiny comic book shop, but it's very family friendly, like your shows are. It just seems like that Charlotte, Carolinas area just has a real family friendly,
It does.
welcoming, vibe. Because I've looked at your Instagram and you have a very immersive show and experience. But I just was curious if you had gone to checked one of those out, because it just, your description of your shows kind of reminds me a little bit of kind of Heroes and other stuff, and I've seen in Charlotte. So
Yeah, Charlotte's a big collecting community,
yeah.
And then just that whole area, whole region, whole North Carolina as a whole is really big in collecting.
So actually, Jason touched on one thing there, which I really enjoyed seeing from this show that you did last weekend. So I saw there was a video of, I don't know if it was those tickets or if it was packs. I think they were packs of cards where they were, someone was throwing them out to the kids to make sure they all got them. And just that whole focus on the kids enjoying it and the family experience.
Yeah.
So that feels like it's kind of a constant thing with your shows, whether they're sports or whether they're a mix. Would that be fair to say?
100%. Like I said, the first few shows that I went to, back in 2021 around here, there was no kids. It was just a bunch of guys like you and I, book bags, walk around, and it just it didn't feel right. Really, it didn't feel right. It was just no kids in the building at all. And then we took our show to Mooresville, North Carolina, and that community is kind of where we really started building. That's where our show kind of built. And then I went back to my hometown of Salisbury, North Carolina, and between those two towns, that's where we started picking up all the kids. We started doing the Pikachu. We started doing the this guy behind me here. And it was that continued to bring the kids out. It was giving away the packs to the kids. You know what I mean? All of these different things that ensured that when those kids came that first time, when it came back around, Mom, Dad, it's time for a card show. Mom, Dad, it's time for a card show.
Right.
And that's what they get. Like, I see the same kids every card show. And now, there's, two of them have started their own card shows, right? Like kids.
Great.
100%. It's great. So it's something we've always done, and it's something that we've continued to drill through the advertising. Family friendly. Bring the strollers. And you see the strollers that like a kid in a stroller more than likely is not into collecting. You know what I'm saying? It's more than likely Mom and Dad is just like, come on, we got somewhere to be, kid. So that's great. And then now, and I'm sure you've seen it within your own communities, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids walk around with 20 grand in a case, you know what I mean? And we're here for that too, you know what I mean? So we make sure that we keep the excitement high. We do pack rips, or we'll have like rip parties throughout the show. Kids like to rip, you know what I mean? So we make sure they get that excitement at a card show too, so that they always want to come back. And they always do. Like I said, you could go through the last 2 years of either the YouTube videos or the Instagram, and you'll see some of the same kids, or you'll see those kids age too. Like they always come to the shows.
Wow. I mean, was it Whitney Houston said, "I believe the children are our future," and she had a point, because they are, because we're all kids once. But it's one of the things that I found really eye opening at the National was that whole thing about kids walking around with their little Zion cases. You have them at different sizes, and they're still pretty portable. You can even get these ones that go across body, made by Zion, and they'll fit like 20 slabs or something like that. They look like all they need to be doing is holding a massive gun to load the slab into. But it's fascinating. You see it on videos that Talon do, and other people like that, where you've got kids who are really, who've done these rips, maybe have pulled something good, managed to trade it up, and they're gradually building themselves a collection that is, that whole mentality of the hobby, paying for the hobby, is starting so much younger. I'm seeing with shows that engage with children like that,
and that's a good thing for our longevity as well. These kids are 12, 13, 14. In 10 years they'll be 22, 23, 24, and they'll still be with us, hopefully, and then they'll be vendors, hopefully. You know what I mean? So it just feeds into the expansion of the show, and continue to make sure that the show is around for the long run.
And the hobby as a whole thing.
Great support for the hobby.
Yeah,
it's which is interesting, because what you've described and what you're doing feels very real and very tangible, and very much an experience, a day out, a celebration of the hobby. What are your thoughts? I'm curious to know your thoughts on the whole current breaker culture, whatnot kind of vibe that's happening, and how you see, because like I said, I've only been to the one big show last year, the National, and there was a weird area that was literally a whole area for whatnot and breakers, and it felt, I mean, the audio soundscape was different as soon as you went into there, and it felt very different. And I wasn't massively keen, I won't lie to you. I didn't hang around there, and I didn't go back there later, because people were either looking at two things. They were either standing around looking at the people in front of them breaking, or they were watching them on the screen. And I'm not sure how I felt about that, really, but I'm just curious to know your thoughts, because obviously it's here. It's not going away anytime soon. And it is obviously feeding, a big part of the ecosystem at the moment. How do you see that in relation to what you're doing, and how have you seen it cross over and translate?
Well, that part right there is that's the bigger thing, is that it feeds the ecosystem of the hobby. So first, I think breaking is a good thing. It allows access for people who ordinarily may not have access. You know what I mean? Every other week, this guy might spend $150 on breaks, and that's his thing. You know what I mean? But outside of breaks, he wouldn't be able to participate or maybe buy the cards or see the cards.
Yeah, because those boxes ain't cheap.
Right. So the boxes ain't cheap, right? But then it also provides an element of fun. You know what I mean? And you have people that just like to have fun, people that like to gamble. It's kind of what it is, right? So you can't. I don't think you can completely remove it. The repackers feed that as well. That's a lot of stuff that's getting bought right now, but it feeds the show. So how it relates to the show is that we have guys coming from Texas, Florida, Ohio, Utah that are repackers or streamers, and they're buying out my vendors. You know what I mean? They're helping my vendors move their inventory, which is good for everybody involved. The inventory continues to move. So for me, it's great. It brings an element of a different type of buyer to a show, a buyer that's going to spend 40, 50, 60 grand, right? And we have a few of those guys coming. And then for the current vendors that I've had, or the new vendors that are coming, they look forward to seeing those guys. When those guys come, like, yes, there's my guy. So it helps.
That's what weekend paid for.
Right. It's the stuff that people, the regular consumers here in North Carolina are bringing to the show, selling to our vendors. And then you have the repackers and the whatnot community coming in and buying it from the vendors and then redistributing it across the country. It's great for the ecosystem of the hobby, and I love it for my show. I really do love it for my show, because my vendors get to move their inventory, and that's what those boys want to do. They want to move inventory. So I think it's good for the hobby. We've had at in January, we had all sports breaks at the show, because we had Josh Emmett there as well, and they're big in the UFC breaking. So we had them there. I would like to incorporate a live selling aspect to the show. I just don't know how it would work, because I don't want to run breaks myself, right? But I would like to, let people maybe participate in it at the show, just for that different excitement and that fun element.
Yeah.
But trying to figure out how to do some real live selling for all the vendors at the show has been a challenge. So I'll still continue to work on it, but I do like having the breakers at the show. I think it's cool. Gives something a little bit more excitement for people to jump into, because that is a part of the hobby, and you do have people that do enjoy that. Yeah,
interesting. Okay, what do you So something you said just put me in mind of. I always wonder this. So whenever I go to the States, I always get some US currency in advance. So I've got some cash. And often when I what was that bizarre noise?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That's my husky.
Yeah.
Go and sort your husky out. Come on.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
Wow.
It sounds like that big thing at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Monster over there, dude.
He's got someone tied up in the basement.
Is that a killer Pooh Bear?
Let her,
Either that, or it's his stomach and he hasn't had breakfast yet.
just let her out west. Maybe she didn't ID you.
Yeah, go on. Go and sort her out.
no.
Go and sort her out. Anyway,
That's hilarious, dude.
one thing, I was like, what's that noise? We actually did a whole thing about 5 or 6 episodes back on Keith's chair, because Keith's chair kept making a noise that sounded like he was dropping biscuits during the show.
Time I lean.
And so this is what happens. Something happens and it just derails us. But what I was going to say was, when I get new currency, and this is especially true of American money, right? You've got the serial numbers, and they're brand new because they're consecutive. So I'll have some $10 bills, and it'll be the serial numbers will be number 6, number 7. You can see it, and you think to yourself, okay, well, as soon as I bring that into circulation, you can imagine the journey it goes on.
Oh,
As it goes through America and literally through the world, because I'm buying these notes in the UK and then bringing them back to the motherland to be spent, and contributing to your culture, contributing to your economy. So
you be the motherland, dude.
well, to an American note, I imagine the America is the motherland. But it got my mind to thinking about a journey that a card goes on, that whole ecosystem. So it's maybe ripped. So maybe a kid rips something pretty decent, $200-300 card, whatever it may be, from a pack at your show, and then he sells it to someone like Talon. Talon goes to another show, maybe in Vegas, his home turf, or somewhere West Coast, because he goes all over the place. And then he either sells it or gives it away, because he's always doing shit like that, which is brilliant. And then that kid goes in one of his little Zion cases to his local show, and then sells it to someone else, and it goes in a repack. You can think about it, and it might end up coming back to your show in 2 years' time.
That'd be weird. It'd be weird if it did, but like that, there's a world where that possibility exists. You know what I mean? So like,
Did you just come up with something?
Track it, but like,
Did you just come up with something? Like, could you put like what's inside a credit card in there and track the card and see its life and where it's been?
Right.
I mean,
wow, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
A lot of data.
We obviously Marvel's quite a small pool, if you like. I mean, it's getting a lot bigger, but it is quite a small pool. If that's for me, I'm not here, by the way. Whoever that is. What's he got?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cheeky. What's that?
Speaking of my heartstrings.
Oh wow.
X-Men metal.
X-Men.
Pulling on
Listen,
my heartstrings.
I'm a collector. I just keep my stuff on the low.
Right. You got to.
That was going to be one of my questions. If you had a favorite Marvel.
Yeah.
No,
Marvel, man.
Let's go in there. Right. Okay. Pop quiz. No. Well, that's entirely up to you. It's your box. Pop quiz. Avengers or X-Men?
X-Men.
Yes.
Is the right answer.
All day. After school, like we're all of a similar age, dude. After school, X-Men.
Oh yeah. All day.
That was my jam.
Yeah, I
they played the same episodes over and over and over again.
But we loved them. So that Spider-Man too, right along with it. That animated Spider-Man was.
I was going to say I'm a little bit older than you guys, so for me it was Spider-Man and his amazing friend, Iceman, Firestar.
That's me, Firestar, and I would watch it on Saturday mornings, and then I got into X-Men from reading the comic books. And
have you guys seen the video of people speeding up Whitney Houston, "I'm Your Baby Tonight," and it's the X-Men theme?
What?
No.
I'm trying to play it in my head real quick. I'm like,
right.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to put that on the audio after the credits.
There you go.
There's a little bonus for people. I'm going to find
interesting.
That. Wow. Okay.
I'm not going to sing it, but it's.
Yeah. I can.
And if he's.
I love the fact that Keith said, "I'm not going to sing it," and then immediately sang it.
No, you're not getting the words out of it. You're going to get that out of me.
You're not getting the lyrics. You're not going to belt
that was enough. You took me there.
No octaves.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. I can't remember what we were talking about now. So, what were we talking about? Avengers and X-Men. There we go.
Avengers, X-Men. Yeah.
What box is that? What box is that? Is that Avengers metal? Is it X-Men?
That's X-Men metal.
X-Men metal.
X-Men metal.
Yeah, that's the.
Oh my
I think that was the first hobby box I actually bought when I got into
box. I enjoyed ripping.
2020.
Yeah.
I
noticed a lot of it seemed to be timing and geography. Like in Boston, around our area, it was Avengers. It's that all you had the X-Men animated stuff, and the comics were always around. But it's crazy how certain areas we were hammered with like the hardcore Avengers stuff in Boston. Marketing wise, all over the city. Crazy. All over the sports arenas and stuff like that. And so timing and location, I think, plays a lot into but it's crazy how many people just die over the X-Men. That's what they live. That's where they. But the content is so good that even if you're on the Avengers side, you're like, I get it.
Me, honestly, though, when it comes to like the new world of Marvel movies, like I don't like, not that I don't like any of the X-Men movies, but they're not as good as the Avenger movies.
No,
and that's just my opinion. Like I don't think any of the X-Men movies have been as good as the Avenger movies, any of the Avenger movies.
no,
and I think that's a fallacy to a great mutant team, dude. Like, but
Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that Kevin Feige is about to turn
give
that on
us
his head.
an opportunity to see them in that light.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Here's the thing. What are you finding? I'm always curious about this at sports card shows. Obviously, you've got the big four. You've got your basketball, your baseball, your football, your hockey.
Is that big four?
Yeah, well, kind of. Well, those are the four that you kind of think about. Yeah, listen, you won the hockey. So we did an episode of this during the hockey final, and two of these guys on the bottom row spent most of the episode looking over here, watching the final, watching the final of the Olympics hockey.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you with us, guys?" It's like, "No, we're just watching the hockey."
Hockey live is great. I don't care to watch hockey on TV, but like I've been to 3 hockey games.
Great live.
Hockey live, different, man. I love it.
Yeah,
it's the best of all the sports, I think.
Yes, 100%. I agree. Yeah. Hockey live is great. It's very exciting. It's 3 periods, real quick. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, what's you? I was going to ask, what do you find is the one that has the most kind of I mean, is it pretty equal, or is it more baseball or more football that you're finding, or does it vary depending on the show? Because when I went to the National, it was definitely predominantly, I would say, football and then baseball.
Yeah, I think collectors. I think collectors and vendors are very smart, and they know their seasons very well.
Seasons probably.
Yeah, I mean, like they know their seasons very well, right? Like now you're looking to buy football, you're not looking to sell football. Now baseball's kicking off, baseball's starting to rise up in cost, so you got to be careful. Basketball's winding down, so I think it's very seasonal. Honestly, it's seasonal.
That's interesting.
I would say that of the big 3, really, because like we don't move a lot of hockey or soccer at my shows.
Yeah,
but we do have hockey and soccer there. More soccer than hockey. I would say baseball is probably number 1 though. Like throughout the year, if it's going to be one sport, I think it's baseball. Baseball seems to be we're talking sports, not much. Baseball just seems to be like the card, the sport, right? It's America's pastime. It just seems to be the one that seems like everybody has a little bit of baseball. Not everybody will have football, and everybody have basketball. You see, and I feel like I see more big name autographs and just out of 5s and out of 4s autographs type deal from the baseball. And definitely more vintage baseball. Vintage baseball is where it's at. So I would say of the 3, baseball is number 1, but they are very seasonal at the show.
Yeah. Now, the only reason I included hockey in that 4 was because I'm very, very seriously tempted to start dabbling into some hockey cards myself, and I've never collected it, so I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So why am I doing it? But anyway, partly because I do a show with a good friend of ours called Amanda, and she's mad about hockey. So if I'd left that out, I'd have heard about it afterwards. So I had to include that. Keith knows what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So, well, I'll snip that bit. Anyway, so that's interesting because obviously baseball's got a longer vintage in cards, isn't it? I mean, the whole term vintage, I guess, starts with baseball because you've got stuff going back 100 years. I don't know if you've got football cards going back 100 years. But on the sports side of things, then, what would you say? I'm just curious because you obviously go around the show, you see the vendors, you see the people buying stuff, you see the people selling. What's the biggest card that springs to mind that you've seen at one of your shows recently?
Gosh, I mean, okay, so one that walked in the door. I was doing a video for the Graded Guard because we have them as a sponsor in August. I was doing a video for the Graded Guard. I needed somebody with a BGS slab. So I was like, anybody got a BGS slab on the microphone? And a guy walks in with a Barry Bonds, and I think it was Shohei out of 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dual auto. But he picked up. I think he picked it up. This is great. He picked it up in Dallas. I can't remember where he picked it up, but then he went to Dallas, had it graded, and brought it to our show to look to sell. So, I would say just that sticks out because it just happened to me. right? So like,
Wow.
that's what it just happened. Yeah, out of 5, Barry Bonds, Shohei on card. So
On card.
Yeah, on card.
Wow.
On card. Yeah, on card. I think I got it right here.
That's
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. It was crazy. He walked in like Alex says this too. He walked in like with one of those like single card cases. You know what I mean? It's just like a single.
Oh.
Card.
Yeah,
He's
like
like,
all
you see
touch.
somebody with one of those, you know, it's some heat in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He didn't have it on a chain round his neck, did he?
No, but those all touch cases are nice, where you can slide any size PT one touch inside of it, and then it's and now it's like you could hand this thing. It's a brick at that point. But it's a cool look. They're expensive.
He definitely.
What's it called? An all touch?
Yeah, it's called an all touch, and you can take any sort of magnetic one touch, and it pieces off on the back, slides in.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Wow. That's beautiful.
Shit.
Yeah,
Is it 10?
yeah. No, it's
a 10 also?
It's graded a 9. The autos are graded 10.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy.
dang, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, that dude definitely showed up with that and was like, heard that on the mic. He's like, "This is my moment. This is why." I
100%.
Yeah.
Like I literally, I was
awesome.
like, anybody got to? And he walked right in, pulled it out of that one little case, and so
I'm
like
here.
big like stuff like that is at our shows like all the time.
yeah. No, I love it. I'm ready for my close up, Mr. DeMille. This is my moment.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's
It's a
really
call,
cool.
right? Like I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
it is. It
So,
is.
like,
It's interesting you mentioned soccer there. I guess so. Over in the UK, there are more shows happening. I've not managed to make it to any of them, but a lot of them tend to be soccer, because obviously, you know, it's the main sort of game in the UK. NFL's making huge strides in Europe as well,
okay.
because they've been playing season games in London for the last decade, and
in Europe,
well, almost 2 decades. They're playing in Germany and Spain now, the NFL games. So there's a regular game. I think there's 2 regular games in Germany this year, and 1 in Spain. So yeah, it really is. And there's a massive card show that happens in Germany every year. So it is starting to. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it now, but BCW. I think I remember seeing something whereby they have a European production. So they got BCW stuff made in Europe now as well to kind of service that market. So as well as the Pokemon. So that seems to be what's driving the shows over here.
Pokemon needs no help, dude.
Pokemon. I mean, it's like global domination. Let's face it. I mean, everyone else might just
no help.
Yeah, everyone else might just give up and go home. Even my daughter got in on the act. She opened. She was really into it around she's 10 now. She was really into it around her 7th and 8th birthday. So I was getting her, a few packs, and she got something out of there that was pretty shiny. I don't know what it was. I don't do Pokemon, but I know I looked it up, and I said I said to my daughter, I said, this one that you opened last year, I said it's selling on eBay for like $30. And she's like, is it? And then there's next thing, she thinks for a moment, she goes, can I sell it? So immediately I'm listing it, and it sells within 24 hours, and she's got $30 to spend on stuff. So as soon as she found out that it was worth something, she thought, oh, okay, I'll have that. So she's not that attached to them, but I thought that was an interesting thing. So she's had that. She's got another one that's probably I looked it up, and it's probably about $50, but she's holding on to that one for now.
Imagine being the guy that, like, the first time around shot down the Pokemon game, like that little 2x3 gray cartridge at Nintendo, and someone was like, this game's not going to work. Imagine being that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that a thing? I haven't heard this story.
These go through approval processes. At some point, someone got shot down in the design of Pikachu or something for this video game.
Right.
And when it came out, it was
not even on a mainstream, not even on the main consoles. It
on
came
a
out
mini
on the
console. It was, and people, it was kind of a one-off where you never collected anything in games. So going around and doing this, collecting the monsters and trying to build a
level on them and all that
was unheard of. We had Zelda, shit like that. It was just, there was
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. Right.
I never played it either. That's the thing. That's for me. This has been it's such a phenomenon to me to watch what Pokemon's been because I never got into it. Thank the Lord, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be dead in a ditch.
Pokemon.
Yeah, the amount of money I would. I can't manage money with Marvel. Imagine if I got into that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I can't manage money full stop. So, wow. I love that, Keith. It's like one. I kind of
You love
in
me,
my
dead
head.
in a ditch?
No, I've got an image of you with a certain point in your life, fork in the road, Pokemon, underneath in small letters, dead in a ditch, career in catering. I'll go the career in catering route.
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. That's what I was thinking, man.
There we go.
Some of the Pokemon boys came out to that adventure, though.
Yeah, I love the fact that James has been choosing his own adventure. I'm really excited to see watch some more of this content that you've got up there.
Yeah.
Having to say discovered your YouTube channel, so I'll be diving into that.
Oh yeah, watch some of those videos. You'll see you'll really see the scale of the shows. You'll see what I mean about the people and the kids and the families. Like you'll see in those YouTube videos. She did my videographer for our YouTube videos. Her name is Abby. She did a great job with those videos. Great job. So I encourage you to watch them for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, shout out to Abby, wherever she may be. So what's next? Obviously, you got a show in June. You mentioned the one with 600 tables when you can fix them, order some more. What? I mean, what's next? How many do you envisage doing? How many do you do a year now, and where do you see it scaling?
So we were doing about 9 a year previous to this year. This year we have 1, 2, 3,
you
6.
still get that kind of turnout. 9
Oh yeah, dude.
I would think you'd oversaturate at some point, but that's crazy.
So like 2 of the shows, North Carolina is very saturated, man. But 2 of the shows are in smaller venues. The Mooresville venue is kind of like it's the second venue we use is where we built our base. I can only get about 225 tables there. But that community is so strong and it shows up so good, and like I would just feel terrible to take the show away from that community, honestly. Yeah. So we still do it. That's home, right? So that's home. So we got the 4 big ones a year, and then the 2 home shows, basically.
Okay.
Excuse me. So in June, that's the 3-day show with Allen Iverson there, and then in July, I think it's the weekend before, 2 weekends before Fanatics Fest Nationals, July 11th and 12th. That's one of our home shows, 225 tables, but it's on the lake. It's a beautiful place to be. It's Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina, NASCAR, home of the NASCAR. So people come in. There's a lot of stuff to do around there, and again, it's on the lake, so it's pretty dope. And then in August, we'll be in Myrtle Beach again with my buddy Mike Wilder. And then October, we have our Collector Showcase, Southeast Collector Showcase. That was the one last year where we maxed out at 539 tables. We'll have that one again this year. And then for 2 years, I've wanted to do this thing called the Vendies, which is basically like a vendor award show for our guys, right? Like an appreciation.
Nice.
So I've wanted to do that for 2 years. And like,
that's smart.
1 year I had to put it, like the first year, it was just too late in the year. Last year, I kind of put it to the guys. I was like, hey, guys, I want to do the Vendies this year. Do you guys want to do the Vendies or have a card show? Everybody's like, yeah, James, we just want a card show.
Yeah, right.
I was like, yeah, I don't need no awards, James. Let's make some money. So this year, what I'm going to do is I still want to have the Vendies. I still want to show that appreciation to my guys and just have some fun with everybody, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a card show and the Vendies. So we'll do the card show Saturday. We'll do the Vendies for like an hour and a half after the card show with a trade night. I'll feed everybody to keep them around, and then we'll finish it up with a little bit more card show on Sunday and get out of Dodge for the year. Cool. So that's what we're going to do in November. I will have my Vendies this year, but I will also give the boys another card show, and that's at our home venue too. So it's more of a it's really a family type like that. Like it's a really good environment and a good venue. The boys really love it, so it's the perfect place to have our Vendies.
What does the trophy look like, or the statuette?
Oh, we're gonna have several different ones. We're gonna have like some OG statues for our guys that are our OGs that are still around. We're gonna do like best setup kind of stuff, like coolest setup. We try to make sure we don't hurt anybody's feelings, though. Keep it all kind of centered around cool stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Number one, who's our best streamer that puts out YouTube videos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just those kinds of things, just to like show the guys we see what they're doing, get a little bit of recognition to them, and keep them coming back and keep them touting us as the best around.
That's awesome.
Nice. I like that because you can have Vendy nominee 2 years running kind of thing. They can use that as a bit of a badge of honor.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because whenever you hear about big actresses, it's like, oh yeah, there's a 3-time Oscar nominee, which is basically which is code for like has never won, but it's still a thing to just have been nominated.
To be nominated though, yes, 100%.
Yeah, to be in that breath, right?
To be in that bracket and be talked about like that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna we've got the categories laid out. We're gonna have a like a People's Choice Award that will be only through the app. You have to vote through the app, kind of stuff. You're gonna get people on the app.
That's good for engagement. Yep.
Yeah.
So, that'll be the one that has the sentimental value where somebody's really, really honored by
the People's Choice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
And you get app downloads.
And we get app downloads. I'm going to give the app downloads. I'm going to be giving away so much stuff to get people to download this app, and I've got like notifications built in, so I can send out push notifications. Like
I've enabled them.
Promo codes for ticket discounts and things like that. And even on our website, you can. I partnered with a company that's out of the UK, believe it or not. It's called Hotel Maps.
Oh yeah, I have seen them at the conferences I've went to.
I bet.
Yeah.
Through their partnership, you can book your hotel and your stay on our website or through the app. You'll be able to do also. Cool. So like you can go on the show page, you can get your tickets, you can see which vendors you want to see, like map that out, and then at the bottom you can book your hotel. You're good. All of it in one spot.
Nice.
And it'll all be on the app as well.
See, all the guys I can see Keith thinking, when can I go?
I could road trip it. Yeah, I could road trip that. I'm in Jersey, so that's not that bad.
And we just had some people from Jersey out here, man. I don't know if you follow Like Father, Like Son, or if you.
I do now.
If you've been exposed to their content, yeah, they're from.
Well, from your thing last weekend, I have.
Yeah, they were cool. It was the first time having them out at the show. They're very family oriented. They take their kids to a lot of the shows that are in their local area, like the Philly show, and their son's doing interviews. It's like 12. He's doing interviews. So it's cool. They're very family oriented. So they work for our brand too, and they're really cool people. Like I took them out to a basketball game after the show that weekend and everything, and like I can hang with those people. They're really awesome. Like, everybody we bring out to the show, like it. One of my biggest things I like to say is your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So
nice.
The people that are in my circle, like they just fit. It's just a natural fit for Sports Wax and what we're trying to accomplish.
See, that's cool. The whole fact that I saw them on your content now, I thought it's that cross-pollination thing.
100%.
That kind of everyone.
That's how it works, man. That's one of the reasons why I bring these people in is to to expose us to some more people, and hopefully people say, hey, let's take a drive and see what that's all about. And I guarantee you take a drive and come to my show, you're gonna have fun. And if you let me know you drove from 4, 5, 6 hours, I promise I'm gonna take care of you. And people have learned that too. Hey James, I came all the way from. I'm like, cool. Hold on, let me give you something. Here's a hanger box. Here's a blaster box. So,
what do I get if I row for 3 months across the Atlantic?
You get the VIP rollout. I promise.
Listers, probably.
I'll put you up in the 26-foot box truck so you get that experience. And everything.
Oh well, there we go. I can fix some tables for you while I'm there. I'm used to this at fixing tables, so it wouldn't be any good. Right, James, we're going to kind of circle into land. Don't go anywhere after the credits, by the way, because StreamYard does this thing now where it kicks us all out of the studio. Okay. The credits roll, and when you come back, you think it's ended, but it's not. But we'll kind of have a little chat afterwards as well. But remind people again, just in case they've forgotten, where they can find you online and your socials.
You can find us at Sports Wax Promotions on all the social medias at Sports Wax Promotions. Our website is sportswaxpromotions.com. That's where you can find us. Just Google Sports Wax Promotions. We'll come up all over the place.
Marvelous. And I will say this, thank you to your buddy Frank for reaching out to us and for hooking this up. It was absolute pleasure to kind of get to know your brand and get to know your shows. Hopefully we'll all be able to attend one someday soon. I think these guys are probably a little bit more like, where are you in relation to, sorry, Ohio? My geography of the states just gets a bit confused once you go into the middle bit.
It's about an 8-hour drive, but I drove to New York for Comic-Con a few years, so it's or it's a cheap flight. It sounds like a fun. Also, it's been a while since I've been to Myrtle Beach. I went to Myrtle Beach on my senior trip in 1993.
You come out, I'll take care of you, buddy. Warren, did you let me know you're coming out? I'll make sure I take care of you. Jason, also, is that a Savannah Bananas hat you're wearing there, sir?
It is.
It is.
We gave
It
away
is.
6 tickets to Savannah Bananas last year. Gave away 6 tickets to Savannah Bananas game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Florida, and they started their world tour at in where I live.
Okay, that's cool.
In February, and they played 3 nights at the college baseball stadium, and the last night they actually turned the football stadium into a baseball field,
Yeah, dude.
and that's the one I went to. So it's
Let's go.
Florida State. But it's
Talk
about an 8 hour
experience, right? Like
it's fun. It's a big kid friendly
It is.
thing.
Savannah Bananas are crazy.
It's fun. It's an amazing operation. That
You
they
were
run.
posting photos from this the other week,
Yeah.
weren't you?
Yeah.
And
Jason,
I
they-
didn't have a clue. I'm looking at like, what's he talking about? Because I'm English. I haven't got a
They
clue
didn't-
about bananas are.
Did the Bananas play at Doe Campbell?
They did,
Oh,
and that was packed. It was packed out. It was.
They sell them out.
Yeah.
Yellow Tux Jesse is one of my I'm inspired by him as well.
absolutely.
He
Yeah.
started
Absolutely.
in Gastonia, North Carolina, which is like an hour and a half from
Yeah.
where I live. Not even an hour and a half from where I live. He started small, dude. So
Phenomenal marketing
he's-
mind.
He's
Yes, sir.
great, man. Like
Reading
I
his
follow
books.
him online, and I try to learn as much as I can from Yellow Tux Jesse, dude.
Yep. But his energy is positive. It's consistent. He works his ass off.
Yes.
He, every day waking up with a purpose, not just standing up, like
Absolutely.
going to war. And you love to see that and then see how it can come to fruition.
100%.
He's awesome. Yeah. I'm a
He's my
big fan of
dude.
his.
He's my dude
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, it's about an 8 hour drive for me to Charlotte or to North Carolina, and we have direct flights out of Tallahassee to North Carolina. So because our airport sucks otherwise here, but
Fellas, you let
There
me
you go,
know
kids. Come on, get up to see James and his crew.
sounds like
Yeah,
a
you come see me. I'll definitely
Yeah.
take care of you guys for sure. 100%.
Marvelous.
awesome.
Right, James, you've been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing your
Thanks for
stories
coming.
with us and
Yeah.
telling us all about your shows. I'm going to be watching with interest, and hopefully, we'll all make it over to you. Best of luck for your next ones as well. Not that I think you need it, quite frankly, because it sounds to me like you're pushing all the right buttons, and I hope it
Preparation
continues
and work
to,
come together. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
well, I hope it continues to grow for you, and for and for the attendees and vendors as well.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform to share Sports Wax Promotions with everybody. It's been a pleasure. This has been a very fun experience and a fun podcast with you, gentlemen. You guys are great interviewers. I was not nervous at all. Didn't feel any kind of pressure. This has been great, man. Sports Wax Promotions. Make sure you check us out. Enjoy collecting, guys.
Oh, look at this. He's a professional. He's an absolute professional.